Max Gawn in
Max
the studio.
fun.
And look at you two. You're dressed the same as Will
Yeah,
Anderson
how
today.
embarrassing.
Isn't that
People can't tell us
cute?
apart.
Yeah, you've sort of convinced me, like the amount of times you've worn that over the last sort of month. I'm like, I really want to wear that as well. It looks good, especially with a hoodie.
Wearing our Triple M
Retro merch. Thanks to Uncle
and
Rico.
But you know what I love? You've got the Lululemon hoodie
Yeah.
underneath.
Always. I can't
Always.
just not wear Lululemon.
And a different hat.
Lulu hat, but
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
branded this time.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Well, small
I was trying to
branding
throw
on the
people
side.
around it. I went to a local footy game yesterday, and I was wearing a Lululemon hat, and someone just randomly walked past me and said, "Geez, you're flogging that, aren't you?" So now I've decided to just ease back a little bit.
By talking about it on the radio.
So nice to see you in here, Max. We'll
Yes.
talk the Melbourne Football Club
Why
next.
not? Why not?
Max Gawn is with us from the Melbourne Football Club.
That's
and
the
Daisy,
key point.
look, there's some big questions that need to be asked. Firstly, Max, to be fair, we've launched an external review into this program.
Okay.
Just have a look at what the last 7 weeks have been like. So we asked this with open hearts.
We do. The big news before today and the bigger news, but your president in Kate Roffey has stood down.
Yep.
After doing a fantastic job, it must be said, part of the big revival of the footy club. What's your take on all of that news?
Yeah. So midway through 21 to the back end of 24. So I don't know how many years is that. That 4, I dare say. No, we're forever in debt. She led the club and was at the helm for an AFLW flag, an AFL men's flag, and then non-stop top 4 for both teams. Upwards of just under 70,000 members, I think. So she can be pretty proud of the effort she did. I've got a lot of time for Kate, still do. We'll catch up with her at some point when the dust settles. And over to Brad Green, and I think, I'm not sure. So Stix Kernahan was president of Carlton, so there may be someone there, but I'm not sure how many people have been. Their president and their captain was the same person.
Right.
So Greeny was my captain in 2011. And now he's my president. I'm not sure how many people have played with their president.
Greeny was also a chaperone on a footy trip at Carlton once.
Was he?
Yeah, so he's very, very good at wrangling cats.
Yeah, I won't go into
that might have been what got him the job.
I won't go into what I know about Greeny on footy trip because he's now our president.
We'll keep it professional.
Got some things that can leverage against the president.
Maybe. But next question.
External review is the
Yep.
next big question. So obviously there was talk early on that the review would be internal, that it would be conducted in club, but it now seems that they're going to bring in someone from the outside to have a look at what's going on.
Yeah, I get why this is big news, but in my head it's not big news. I'm just like, surely if we won the flag this year and finished first, I would love to have the All Black
Leadership
and culture come in and check how we're going all the time. So I'm glad it's happening. I think every club should get reviewed every year in a way. Like I own 2 restaurants, Motor in East End, one in Canberra, one in Hawthorn, and we constantly have people come in and do an external review on our restaurant. So I don't see the big news. I get it, but I don't see why it's big news, and hopefully we get some good stuff from it.
I mean, you know who'd be good for an external review? Gordon Ramsay. I reckon he'd tell you
Put
some
bread on either side of your head. What do you call that?
I'm a big Kitchen Nightmares guy, and I hope my restaurant is not what those restaurants resemble on Kitchen Nightmares.
Oh, absolutely not.
I feel like I could go in and do a better job than some of them. But Gordon would be great.
Up next, we want to talk to you about the big weekend that's just happened in the finals footy.
Please.
First finals weekend done,
Yeah.
Daisy.
Do you watch footy? Are you a consumer now that you're not obviously in finals, which is a tough spot because everyone wants to be out there and you guys have been there so often. Do you stick around and watch the footy or
I actually
note?
found it harder to watch when we get knocked out of finals.
Yeah.
And then you have to watch the last sort of 2 games. That's harder to watch than we just weren't good enough this year. So it's a little bit of an easier watch to watch the best teams go out and then aspire to get to where they're at. I thought it was a relatively predictable round of finals in terms of who won. Sorry, Will.
That's
you
not
told,
according
you
to your
told me
tip.
on Friday.
I said I'm
that the
worried about the
Bulldogs-
MCG though.
Yeah.
And you also told
you
us
said
that
the
Carlton
Bulldogs were gonna
Brisbane would be
win.
decided by a kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, not the fact that the Blues had one kick to half time.
to be fair, post half time, I was close. It was a good game of footy.
Okay, yeah, got me under a caveat. I like it.
I had Giants clearly winning as well, and to be fair, they were.
Yeah, for the first half, you were right
They
again.
were the better. They were the better team, and Sydney's last quarter was just.
I didn't
unreal.
realise this is how we could do predictions.
Yeah.
We
So
could just go.
I'm
at
actually
some
one.
stage.
I'm 1 from 4, but I was a relatively
However,
predictable game.
with
of
the
footy.
feels like temperature, you're 100%.
Yes, yes.
And I think the one that you got was the game that had been played the night before you did your tips. So
Yes, I nailed that one.
Who did you think was the most impressive over the
Yes.
weekend?
who's premiership favourite now?
Weirdly, I thought Giants.
Yep.
They lost, but I think if they have to go the hard way, but if they can get their way into a granny, I can't put money on football. That's where I'd be leaning.
That's a big game now, though, the Lions and the Giants.
It is, and then even Giants' prelim against Geelong, if that's the way it goes as well. So it's a tough way in. But Sydney and Geelong are obviously well and truly in the box seat, and would be a good grand final, I think. Sydney Geelong.
I know, but in this season that is like the most unpredictable season that we've had in AFL, and who knows, like, anyone could win it. It'd be a bit disappointing if it was just Sydney and Geelong again, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm
the
sort
two
of.
teams that always win it.
I'm on the. Is it Hok? Is that what it is?
Hok-Ball, yeah.
Hok-Ball.
I'm on the Hok wagon now.
Yeah.
Sad. Sam Frost, who was probably the one I was cheering for, is now out for the rest of the year, which is sad. But if I'm just picturing, as a strong Melburnian, I'm picturing a Port v Sydney prelim.
Okay.
And I don't think I want to turn that on. So
No.
we need Hawthorn. We need Hawthorn in that prelim. So a Hawthorn Sydney prelim. Please.
Were you surprised how well Hawthorn stacked up in finals?
Yeah, I was.
Because I was last week. My trepidation was and thoughts that the Bulldogs would win because I love everything the Hawks had done, but I wasn't sure it was a brand and a style that could stack up under maximum pressure.
Yep.
It was brilliant.
Well,
they didn't get maximum pressure at any point.
No, but
early they did.
Defensively, they were more sound than I thought, and then from there, that's what starts their offense.
There's a myth that, and I think it's true because I'm a tall player, but tall players just get taller in finals. It seemed like the opposite in that game.
Yeah.
It seemed like the speed and the intensity and the pressure was the thing that is now looking like going forward in finals.
So you're going to say the smalls get smaller in finals now? Is
Maybe
that-
the smalls are the way to go in finals. I'm not going to push that, obviously. We're not going to clip this up and put it on the socials because
headline.
tools, we need tools. But Hawthorn
Gawn
smalls.
says Ruckman don't matter.
Rucks matter. Lloyd Meek was
true.
Meek was
He's a
superb.
monster of a human.
He's a big boy. I reckon he's slimmed down recently as well.
You're a big man, but he's like jacked properly.
We're dog park friends.
Okay.
Really?
Lloyd Meek and I. Yeah.
It was a good chat on the Saturday Rub too, if you didn't hear that.
Can
Or on
I-
the listener
Yeah.
app?
What
Can
kind
I
of-
just ask you about Isaac Heeney?
Yeah,
Because
please.
that was possibly the most complete game of football that I've seen.
30 and 3, including
And just
the
a mark,
key
a
goals.
goal, like it just whenever the game needed to be, taken hold of, it was just a beautiful display of football.
He can't win anything this year. Can't win the Brownlow. Can't win Mark of the Year because he did it unfortunately in the wrong round. But I dare say he's won the year, if that makes sense.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
he wins a grand final, probably that
Even
means he
that,
definitely.
though.
Even that.
He
he's
could
been-
win the Norm Smith still,
Yeah, well, that's true.
win the premiership.
In terms of like last year, we were talking about Cripps, Dacos, Bont as the best three. We weren't talking about Heeney, and now Heeney's well and truly in that conversation. So he's the most improved, even though he probably is improved from the 10th best player in the comp to the first. It's not a massive.
So you
jump.
reckon he's comfortably the best player in the comp?
Oh,
comfortable.
I'm a big Bont guy.
Yeah.
So it's a tough call between the two.
But based on recency bias,
Yeah.
Heeney's got him.
Heeney's
So
probably got him.
He can't win the Brownlow. He can't win Mark of the Year.
But he's won the Max Gawn
He's won the-
Memorial.
Yeah. and-
The memorial. You're still here, aren't you? Yeah. You're still
Valet
here.
Max
It's all
Gawn.
right. I'll check your pulse during the song. Give you CPR.
Rest
This is
in
Alanis
peace.
Morissette on 105.1 Melbourne's Triple M. Valet Max. Rosie Will Daisy Max Gawn, captain of the Melbourne Demons, very respected and no doubt highly paid
Highly paid.
footballer.
And rightfully so.
And our mate, Jay Clark, has done it again.
Yeah,
And
you
the
get
Herald
really
Sun-
annoyed at this, don't
He's done
you?
his favourite article where he guesses wages.
What do you mean guesses? Jay-Z for 6 months does an intensive investigation into what the players are being paid in the AFL and then puts together a list.
He does. He jumps around following
Yeah.
people's bins, getting ATM receipts. He does like
If he
he's
does
proper.
it that way, I'm happy. But there's only two ways you can find out, and it's via my manager or myself, or three ways, or the club. And I would hope that the other two are not talking to Jay Clark about my contract.
Have you spoken to JC about your contract?
No.
Last time you said that he just made it up.
I think my gut feel is he makes educated guesses.
Yeah, which is making it up.
Which is making it up.
Wow. What in the top 100 players
yes.
currently, what do you think you came in at in terms of number? Shall I read you the bio first?
Well, he's thinking of
I'm
the
going to say
number.
top 30.
Despite having another year to run on a contract, the Melbourne skipper has just signed a new deal which runs until the end of 2027. If you don't mind, he'll be 35. After another All-Australian season, there is no signs of him slowing down. What do you think of Max Gawn's ratings? The ratings, spot on, lucky boy, bargain.
That's got nothing to do with the money value.
No, the money
bio, does it?
value is the top.
Well,
What did you
So-
say, Will? Top 30.
top 30.
How many is it? Top 100?
Top
Yeah.
100.
Gee, why'd they do 100 for? That would have got boring real quickly.
Then you can guess.
I mean, it'd be great if they just ranked every AFL player from top to bottom.
I'd actually be very interested in
Yeah.
the bottom 50.
Yes.
The-
That would be good, actually, if they... Because, I mean, value for money, like, it wouldn't be an insult to those players. In a way, you'd be going, you know what?
Geez, he's a
We're
bargain.
getting a pretty good value out of
there's
this
a bargain button that you can click, spot on or lucky boy.
Okay.
And you got voted as lucky boy.
Lucky boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I made that up. But
No, I was going to say I don't think you're a lucky boy. My gut instinct is you could be a top 10 paid player based on 7 All-Australians dominating the league, but because you're captain of the club, you probably sit back a little bit in the pack to be a team player. Don't
Not
want
the
to
way
make it all
Geelong do
about
their
you.
system, though. Geelong is the captain gets paid the most outside of Jeremy Cameron.
Yeah, but they also try to keep it
Yeah.
at a reasonable level, right?
Yeah.
For team
No one
balance.
gets
and
paid well there.
that's
So
right.
top 100, where do you think Max Gawn would sit?
43rd.
Oh, look at
Maxie.
you being all modest.
I'm
Yeah.
going to say
I'm on 1.8 and I'm sitting 43rd.
27th.
Oh, closer. Somewhere in between the two.
Okay.
Do we keep guessing?
29 you said.
Oh,
29.
oh,
Are
I'd
you
say top
happy
30.
with the
That's not
figure
bad.
though? 1.4 to 1.5?
If that's sitting 27th, 29th, you have to be lying there.
I was
Yeah.
just putting the feelers out. 800 to 900,000. Seems
Okay.
seems unders.
I mean, I'm not going to say that's true or not.
No.
He famously.
Well, you can say.
You can say whatever you
could
want because
say
this is a made up thing.
If he's got it 100%
well, no,
correct.
it's false. It's false.
Yeah.
It's false. Yes, it's false. I remember in 2020.
the exact number, or this is absolute horseshit.
In 2020, he put me in like the top 10,
Yeah.
and he put me at like a mil, and I was nowhere near that. And I remember getting a text off Jess saying, "What's going on here? You said you were on X, and now you're on. Now
Are
you're
you
on this."
only getting paid $1 million? You told me.
Why are we living large?
Who's number one?
Number one is Tom Lynch at 1.4 to 1.5 because his deal is heavily back ended.
Yes.
So he played for 500 grand when he first got to the Tigs.
I will tell you my first 4 contracts.
Oh yeah,
My first 4
great.
years.
Yes.
Yeah.
I went 42.
with matches.
No, I didn't play.
42,000.
I didn't
Yeah.
play. Into 45, massive
Ooh.
step up the following
Okay,
year.
that's good.
What's that about $3,000, Rose?
Yeah, inflation.
Shush.
Had matches that year though. 4.
Yeah.
No, that's
okay.
What were your
and-
matches? 2.5.
Don't know. I forget what they were back
Yeah.
then. And then my first contract that I signed post getting drafted was 85.95.
Wow.
85 first year, 95. So I was 95. On my
So
fourth.
you would have been in the bottom 100.
Yeah, and I was living like a king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's before the price of gaspers went up from $27 to $50 a
It
week.
used to be $20 a deck. Now you can't smoke now. There's no way you can smoke. You have to
For
roll.
several
You have to
reasons.
That's
roll.
the one reason that you can't.
Maxie, thank you so much for joining us again. We'll see you on
Friday.
Friday. Great.